What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back. The Inside Wisconsin Show here on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. Trevor Thomas, John Anderson, J.A. More basketball royalty on the show today. Only this time, we go up a click. Chari Nordgaard, also Chari Knueppel. We had Kon on. This is Mom, yeah?
This is the queen, right? Like, if you're going to talk royalty, you got to have a queen, and she is it. So, and I do. This is another one. Every once in a while, you do a show to humor me. And I'm like, we're here for the audience, but every once in a while I'm like, I'm in the audience. I should get a, So yeah, this is, by the way, this is how it works, people. If you really want somebody to see, just call Trevor and he'll take care of it. We have ways to get a hold of you. But I think she's got a fascinating story, whether it's as a player or as the mom of this. She's working a team, right? She's got five boys ready to go. But just a really interesting history. Great ties to the state for someone from Minnesota. And I don't know if you've seen Dawson, Minnesota, but it's this big, which is amazing that they have, her and her brother and an Olympic athlete from there, all these other things. So I'm like, every once in a while, I'm like, wait, I think I have my name on this show a little bit. Let's put her on. So if this goes terribly south, don't blame her or Trev. This will be on me, but again, fascinating, right? She's got her number retired at GB. She got a son that's going to go to the NBA draft, which means not only you have to worry about a uniform, you got to worry about what am I going to wear? Because that's going to be a show. So all around, couldn't be more excited. There are a lot of guests, right? And I'm like, oh no, this one's I'm all in. I'm ready to go here.
I want to find out what she put in the water when these boys were kids. Let's jump in. Chari Knueppel, also Chari Nordgaard, on the Inside Wisconsin Show.
The Inside Wisconsin Show is brought to you by American Family Insurance, Blaine's Farm and Fleet, Capital Credit Union, Amplify Health, Festival Foods, Quick Trip, Legit Pizza, Miller Lite, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, and the University of Wisconsin-Platteville.
Chari Nordgaard Knueppel, also known as the pilot of the modern era flying Knueppels. Let's be real. The pilot, the organizer, she keeps the whole thing together. Chari, thanks for being on the Inside Wisconsin Show. We appreciate it.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
We're going to get right to this. How does it feel to be the mom of a college dropout?
You got me there. That's good. I don't know if you can see on my screen when I pulled into this meeting, I said, asked for my name. And I said, Jeff's sister, Kon's mom / Chari. So the ways that I've been known. But yes, okay. That's, I got one up on Kon too there. I'm his mom, but yeah, amazing. He is a college dropout.
Yeah. He's probably, 96 hours from getting his degree. So he's right on the edge. That's what he's like. The other question I would think everybody wants to know is did you ever want to have a girl? Did you ever miss having a baby girl?
I in fact cried when I found out that the fifth one was a boy. Cried for about 20 minutes. I know. I cried for about 20 minutes. And this was before he was born. Okay. We always found out what we were having. And I cried for about 20 minutes and I'm like, hold on a second. We're basketball players. What's cooler than 4 boys? 5 boys. Now I got myself a whole team and we don't need it to be co-ed. So it's been great to have 5 boys. 5 boys in 5.5 years.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And did you have to convince any of them to play basketball or did they just know that this was going to be a thing?
No, they saw Kon 1 play all the time. The older brothers played. We have about 7 hoops in our house. So it was just kind of a given. We have in our family room, we have a whole court. Now, I don't think it's one of those hard court, whatever. It's just, mini hoops up, nailed up onto the wall. And it's a full court, with the carpeting in the family room, about a 400 square foot family room. So that was where they played all day, every day. And it was basketball all the time.
I had the Nerf hoop on the back of my closet door, right? I'm assuming you've gone through a bunch of those things. But we're really that's a wonderful story. You and the family and how well they do. I wanted to on here because I think you were a great player, and I am a big GB fan. I still call them GB. I call them UWGB. I'm not allowed to be in anything because I don't say Green Bay correctly or all that other stuff. I like when they had red in the uniform. I'm just a rebel, really, when it comes to the program. When it comes through, give me your road to UWGB? Because I'm assuming at some point your brother's in the car, but give us your road that you end up in Green Bay from Dawson, Minnesota.
Well, I didn't play, Dawson, Minnesota is 8 hours from Green Bay, and it's a town of 1,000 people. So there wasn't a lot of opportunity to play AAU basketball or traveling basketball. So for much of my growing up, I played junior Olympic volleyball because there was a program, a really good program out of Southwest State, which in Marshall, Minnesota. Can't remember what it's called now. I think it's like, I don't know. It's called something different than Southwest State now, but so that's where we would travel to Marshall to practice. My sister and I would practice, 2-3 times a week. We'd travel there to practice volleyball. So it was that's what I was thinking I was going to be playing in college was volleyball. But I started doing really well in high school for basketball, and I got picked up by a team from the Twin Cities, and I played in one tournament. I think it was the Great Lakes Shootout at UW Stout. And I played, and I was like, whoa, I'm better at basketball. You finally played with a little bit better players, and you can kind of see what you can do. Not to put anybody from my high school down. Carrie's probably not going to want to hear that. Carrie Tollefson, my point guard growing up, Olympian. But I just saw that I was better at basketball, so I was like, I guess I need to play with this AAU team a little bit more. So I went to a few more tournaments, and that's where UW Green Bay saw me. They had known about me a little bit because my brother was out playing at Green Bay. He was a 5th-year senior when I was a freshman. So they knew about me, and I wasn't so sure I wanted to go far away from home, but if I was going to go where my brother was, and subsequently my sister was there too. It was between Green Bay and NDSU. Who was at the time the @1 Division II team in the nation. So NDSU was a little closer to home in Fargo. And overall, I just chose, hey, let me play, at the highest level that I can play.
And you did. And you chose a mid-major, and you were the best to ever do it in Green Bay. Let's be honest. You're the best to ever do it in Green Bay. You have the most points, your numbers in the rafters. If you could look back on deciding, all right, basketball, I guess it is going to be instead of volleyball, you made the right choice. What were some of the most memorable moments, though, during that ride?
Oh, we went to my senior year. We went to the NCAA tournament. We played UCLA at Poly Pavilion. We didn't play till 1 a.m. or something like that. East or Central time, but 11 p.m., Pacific time. So we're like, what are we going to do with our whole day? You don't want to just sit around in the hotel room. We went to the beach that day. We had lunch on the beach. It was a great day. Then we went home and we put our legs up, and relaxed, but it was still not game time. So it was kind of a weird situation, but it was fun to be with our teammates, all day. And that was kind of a historic spot to play your last basketball game. That was really fun. After my freshman year, we went to France. So we did all the stuff in Paris, played some games out there. So I think the most fun is when you have the opportunities just hang with your teammates, outside of having to go to class and all of that and be in the dorms where we went to Hawaii too one year. So when you're in all these really wonderful spots and you're just hanging with the people that you battle with every day.
Mm-hmm. You're unique in that you played for both the first 2 coaches at GB with Coach Carroll and then Coach Borseth. We know a lot, at least I think most people know a lot about Borseth because he was there as they really came to prominence. What was Coach Carroll like?
Oh, she taught me so much. She taught me to push myself harder than I ever, imagined I could. So she really helped me become the best I could be. Her assistant coach, the post coach, Emily Bauer, was really instrumental in my development as well. But Carol, she installed discipline and hard work, and she believed in you, even when you were at your, your lowest, because you're being pushed as hard as you ever could be pushed. So she really was instrumental in a lot of my success.
Do you ever think about you played for the woman who literally started the program? I know. They were 3-9 the first year, and women's sports was still, the title. Those are Title IX babies and all that other stuff. She's real. As much as we talk about Dave Buss on the men's side, she really is his equivalent for sure.
Definitely, she taught me how to play defense. I mean, I played the middle of the 2-3 zone my entire high school career. I had no idea. And then here I come into, one of the best. I think we did the pack or the push defense, push them to the baseline, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Yes. And it was so hard to learn how to do that. And, but so again, I just learned so much.
And then Borseth was crazy, right? I think he was insane.
Oh my gosh, I love him. He's just the best. I coached with him for 3 years after I went overseas to play for a year, and we shared an office for a year and a half, or for 2 years. And so I learned so much then. But he was so fun to play for. I was worried that he didn't really condition us. We weren't out on the track running much at all. Like, we just conditioned with the ball in our hands. And so that was really fun. But I was really worried before our first game. I'm like, are we going to be in shape enough for this game and whatnot? And we were ready. It was really great. He expanded my game a little bit. He made me shoot 3-pointers. He said, you got to do this if you're going to go play overseas, if you're going to play in the NBA or WNBA. So he was really fun to play for. Really great guy. And then getting to know him, by being his colleague was special as well.
But at Michigan, he comes out at Michigan, right? And he throws the book down and he has an epic rant.
Oh.
And you're going, Coach, what? Your thoughts?
That was incredible. He did not swear at all in that whole rant. Didn't swear at all. Like, he is something else. I love that man. He's so great. Yes, that was, oh my gosh. Yes, that was a great thing to see.
Oh, you just.
So
totally him.
I sat and watched him during the season because he had a courtside seat, middle of the rows, just like a normal fan, after he retires and hands the program over. And I had a blast because he was sitting there like this, just coaching through his lips.
Oh, really?
Oh, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So your run at UWGB, 2 NCAA tournaments in a row. So what tips were you able to give K2 as he was starting to go into the tournament? Obviously, everybody expected that. But what were the conversations you guys had from your playing days into what he's experiencing now?
God, it's so different. The level of the stage he was on was so different than ours. Talk about, we played at like 1 a.m. right so we could get on ESPN. You knew anytime Duke was playing that it was going to be at prime time, right? So that the most people could watch it. We just talked about there's no losing, mostly when he won the ACC MVP, tournament MVP, he said, okay, we've got 6 more to go, and it was just kind of that, like, all right, let's do what we know you can do and just keep winning and do what you have been doing all year long. So that's pretty much the most of it. Like, hey, just keep winning. That was our family March mantra, just keep winning.
But that's different than your experience, right? Because you go in and yes, you guys had great records, but mid-major, you don't get seated high. Duke, they go in and they're like, okay, well, Sweet 16, sort of the first weekend is a given. That's like everybody. The different level of expectation there has got to be something that was that's just new to all those kids. I know that they say that's the brotherhood and stuff, but until you experience, it's the old thing that there's a great coach that always says, yeah, but until you do it, you've never done it. And, did he express anything like that to you about how, wow, this is just a little different expectation than going out and try to win the state tournament?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I mean, he tried to stay off of social media. Like he wasn't on any of that to see there, but I'm on there. I know I'm on there and I see all the pressure and all of the expectation. And right from the very beginning, I mean, as soon as Cooper committed, I believe probably people were thinking, all right, here's our 6th banner, so that was really hard to let down. And like the coaches and the players all had that, in their mind too, that is the goal. Anything less than that is, going to be a disappointment. When they lost, Cantu gave John Shire a hug and said, I love you. I'm sorry, that we couldn't get it done. But yeah, so the stage and the level of the stage that they're on and the pressure is a lot. So it's different. It's just way different than what I ever experienced.
It's also different when you play, you have the ball in your hands, or you know you get to be a part of it. And I don't care if it's the NCAA tournament, the ACC tournament, the state championship, or your kid's under 8 game, right? Like there's some, you've turned them loose and you can't do anything about it.
Yes.
How do you handle that? Because you know how to play. It's one thing. Like my mom knew nothing about the high jump, so she just sat there and thought, oh, look. But like you know how to play. So what's it like when you sit there again? I don't care who it is and what the stakes are. You turn them loose. Like, are we still just this nervous mom? What do we have?
Yes. Nervous mom. Yes. Like, yeah, because you have no control over it at all. And even it's worse when you get to college because I don't know, has he shot up enough shots? You know, like I knew when he was home and with all these, the other boys that are home right now, I know, okay, we've got our shots in. We feel prepared. And so when I watch him at Duke, I just show up for the game. I'm like, I haven't helped you at all. You know, I haven't helped you at all. Are we sure we're going to be good enough right now? Are we sure we're prepared? And so yeah, that's even another level when they're not with you, when you haven't rebounded for them, when you can't be certain that they are prepared. Well, okay, they have Duke coaches and managers and all of that, so they are pretty prepared. You know, Coach K talked with Connie a bit, you know, throughout the year. So, you know, he moved up in the talent level as far as helpers. But I am pretty famous for my foot stomp. So if any of my children make a stupid mistake or a big shot didn't fall, I give a nice big foot stomp, and that releases all of my frustrations.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, yeah, and you're right. I don't know, Shire or Kay, like what credentials do they really have over a mom and a dad who's played? I don't know. Like, okay, like that could all be just on Christian Leitner, and Kay might not be able to coach a lick as far as we know.
Who knows?
And that comes through. Sure. By the way, do you foot stomp at refs? Do you get down on the refs? How are you?
Not really, no, because I just know to be expected that they're gonna be bad.
All right.
Is what it is.
Like, especially
You're right, because Duke never gets a call. Like if most people here would tell you, yeah, Duke never gets a call from the refs ever. I can see where that would be tough.
Time for a break. We're going to go to a break. Okay. Good job. More with Chari Nordgaard Knueppel in just a second. The Inside Wisconsin Show. Break. Go to break.
The Inside Wisconsin Show is brought to you by American Family Insurance, Blaines Farm and Fleet, Capital Credit Union, Amplify Health, Festival Foods, Quick Trip, Legit Pizza, Miller Lite, North Star Mohican Casino Resort, and the University of Wisconsin-Platteville.
Time for another top 5 list here on the Inside Wisconsin Show, presented by our friends at UW-Platteville. Their renowned engineering and STEM programs offer a cutting-edge environment with over 60 majors to choose from. Plus, with exciting clubs and organizations, there's always fun happening on campus. Discover why UW-Platteville is a smart investment. Apply now. So, J.A., in honor of that number 33 hanging in the banners here in Green Bay for both Chari Nordgaard and her brother Jeff Nordgaard, I got to thinking, what are the most impactful retired numbers here in the state of Wisconsin? Meaning, if the player's number is retired, can we say that he was one of the top 5 most impactful players? So I wrote down the top 5 list. I know you did too. Well, let's do this. I'll go 5, you go 5. We'll see how many we share, and then we'll. And in honor of you, I wrote down an honorable mention. My honorable mention is number 10, Mark Johnson.
Okay.
Now, this is weird. Tell me what's going on here with UW hockey. So Mark Johnson's number 10 is retired, but the jersey is still in circulation, meaning people can still wear the jersey, but they know that number 10 is in the rafters. What's the difference? Either it's retired or it's not.
It's kind of North Carolina does that with, if you're like if you're like 2-time All-American, they don't really retire numbers. They just they put it in the rafters. So maybe that's it. By the way, not honorable mention. He's number 5.
Okay. Got it. All right.
Number 10 is number 5.
All right. So you got him as number 5 on your list. Here's my number 5, number 44, Frank Kaminsky, Wisconsin basketball legend. In my opinion, if Frank Kaminsky doesn't come to Wisconsin and or be the player that he grew into being at Wisconsin, then that whole Final Four run, I mean, this goes without saying.
When did they retire that? Just like last year, right? That's new.
Yeah, pretty new. And that needed to happen.
I think of number 44 as Donnie Anderson, but okay.
Okay. Who's that? Your number 4?
Is number 77 for Marquette.
Is that the number they retired for Al McGuire?
Correct. Good for you.
Yeah,
look at you are shining today.
Let's go.
Man, you are right. Yeah. So 77's year they won the NBA champion or the NCAA championship, and number 77 is retired by Marquette for Al McGuire. So it's number 3 for Dwayne Wade, but he's not Al McGuire.
Okay, that's fair. All right,
Yep.
look at me. I got that right.
Yeah,
the only thing that made sense. Number 4 for me. Number 19, Robin Yount. I think that if his number isn't retired, I mean, listen, the 82 Brewers, Robin Yount, the whole thing. There's a number of different numbers up there, but that was the most impactful one. Number 19, Robin Yount.
I would agree.
Number 3 for you, J.A.
Is number 19, Robin Yount.
Okay.
I had him there, and I debated with Ray Nitschke, but I'm trying to give you some variety. So number 66, and I already had a double number in 77. So we'll see. By the way, that's how I remember my Social Security number. I'm not going to give everybody the Social Security number, but my middle 2 digits are 66. And I always like, wait, where do they go? And I'm like, oh, 66. That's in the middle.
Nice. Okay.
I'll let you figure out the other 6.
My number 3, number 33, not Sherry, not Jeff, Ron Dane. Ron Dane, Badgers number 33, retired number 3 on my list. Let me guess. He's your number 2.
Well, we're going to hold out. Go.
Okay. So that's my number 3. My number 2 is another number 33, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Milwaukee Bucks, number 2.
So Ron Dane and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the number 33 is number 1.
That's just in general. The number 33 is number 1
Number
on your
33.
list. Okay.
2 Nordgaards, Kareem and Ron Dane. Number 33 is number 1.
Fairly impactful number.
Yes.
Here in the state of Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. That's fair. I got that. My number 1, number 4, Brett Favre.
You're wrong. No. The quarterback from the Pack, number 15, is the one that should be retired.
Okay. Yeah. And when I read those numbers, I went,
This is my Notre Dame guy.
Hey, this is
You ever seen the little guy?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oh, man. All right. There's our top 5 most retired numbers.
Yeah. So I am Mark Johnson, Al McGuire, Robin Yount, Bart Starr, and then 33.
The number 33 in general.
Yeah.
It's a good list. We didn't do too bad, by the way. And you even gave me a prop. So I'm putting this one in the best of reel. That's happening.
There you go. Even though you got number 4 wrong.
Yeah. Shocker.
How many Super Bowls he win?
1. Back to Sherry.
How many Bart Starr win?
2.
How many championships?
55. Got you. All right. Moving on. We're back. The Inside Wisconsin Show. Trevor John, Chari Nordgaard Knueppel on the Inside Wisconsin Show. Chari, you have 5 boys running around. My wife and I have 2, and we have no clue what we're doing. So I'm going to give you the 10-minute conversation of just tell us what you did right. I'm going to take notes back here. But seriously, I mean, running around with 2 boys for a lot of parents or even 3 kids is crazy town, and you never missed a Duke game. So when I said at the beginning, you're the pilot of the modern era of flying Knueppels, I'm on. That's legit. How do you do this?
It takes so much coordination. We our Google Calendar many days is like 20 items long. So, and then on top of that, we don't just look at that. I make a spreadsheet with everybody's name at the top of it every single day and every hour of the after school hour. Like 4:45, we have to go to the gym, for the 5:15 practice, and then we'll be home. Dinner is always at 4:30 because we, who doesn't like to eat at 4:30 p.m. because we have to get to practices. But yeah, it's a full-time job. I feel like it is. I was very lucky that we had many friends and, teammates, parents on my other boys' teams that we could rely on so that I could make it to all 39 games. And Kon I made it to 22, we counted, and each of the boys made it to 8 to 10 games. So that was a big goal of ours, to be there as much as we could, because we knew it was just going to be 1 year and probably a once in a lifetime opportunity to be a part of that brotherhood program and how well they treat us. And but yeah, it's a full-time job. With the spreadsheets and the calendar, and our kids have had a couple of injuries this spring, so getting them to PT or to the doctor to get an MRI or that sort of thing, it's just adds to it as well. But yeah, you gotta just stay on top of it every single day. It's, the Sunday scaries, if you've ever heard of that. I always get nervous for Monday morning because I just know how much I've got to organize for the week.
So if you were to guess, how many basketball games did you see this year?
Okay, so if it's 39 of Duke,
yeah.
I missed 4 of my the high schooler boys games. Okay. So however many they play, I can't remember, 35 maybe, 33.
So you're out of the running for Mother of the Year there.
Yeah, and then the middle school out of the running. The middle schoolers play, for their little Lutheran team, their middle school Lutheran team, and then their feeder team to Wisco. So they each play probably like 80 games a year. So, and I got a boatload of those. So yeah. Oh, I also wanted to say, so after this spring has been crazy. So after we got back from San Antonio, on that Tuesday, so we stayed even after Duke lost. We stayed. So we got home on Tuesday. That very next weekend, I had to write it down. This is where we've been every weekend since: Cincinnati, Chicago, Iowa, Indiana, Detroit, Memphis, and Kansas. I got back from Kansas City last night. So I haven't had a weekend at home. Just traveling. Okay. We're going to be home this weekend. Just Kidman plays in Milwaukee. So that's a first.
But there are games.
There are games. Games. Yes. Yeah, there's games in Milwaukee this weekend.
I had one son who played travel basketball, and his coach was very gung-ho. Wonderful guy. He got everybody in. But he was so gung-ho, he'd text the family or email. Great news, I found a holiday tournament that starts the day after Thanksgiving. I'm like, I don't want to go to a holiday tournament after Thanksgiving or the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
But you willingly do these things.
I mean, yes.
Okay.
I love it. It's my favorite entertainment.
By the way, was it close between UWGB and Duke for Kon?
GB never offered.
Oh, well, there you go. Talk to Trevor. What's Sonny thinking? I guess
he was thinking.
So Trevor complains he's got 2 teenage boys and a grocery bill is as tall as he is. Like, how do you feed this group?
Well, yeah, it's breakfast. I sit with them at breakfast every morning, and then their lunch is at school, or I just fed them lunch right now before getting on with you guys here. And then dinner is at 4:30. So once they get back from their practices, do you imagine that they don't need to eat again?
Probably not. No.
No, they do need to eat again. So we make big.
Call it good.
We make them huge, like protein shake, ice cream shakes. At night before they go to bed.
How often do you grocery shop? Like, are you just every day or like?
No, I cannot stand grocery shopping. So I do it once a week, and it's about $500. Yeah, and I get it delivered. I have a daycare in my home, so I can't leave the house during the day. So I get it delivered and put it away right there. I do not like grocery shopping, so I just get it. Done.
Is it like 5 loaves of bread? Is it 12 gallons of milk?
It's 7 gallons of milk.
7 gallons of milk.
Yep. And we try to eat protein, fruits, and vegetables. So, it's not like I'm not trying to do the mac and cheese all the time, necessarily. I'm trying to grow tall boys, so they need protein. They need all their fruits
and to be clear, the daycare in your house isn't the boys. You're talking about other kids on top of your kids, correct?
Yes, I've had a daycare for 19 years in my house. Who can send 5 kids to daycare? I mean, I had 5 kids in 5.5 years. So and plus I knew I wanted to be home with them. So this was just my way to make a little bit of extra money. So I've been doing it for 19 years, and I'm retiring June 13th. So
there you go.
Not too much longer.
Not too much longer is right.
But you don't go to their games. Their parents go to their games, correct?
That's a good one.
Okay, just want to make sure. Otherwise, that's even more.
Jeez. So John talked about a little bit, back to UWGB for a second. Shocker, we didn't go after K2. No kidding. We were never going to land K2. He was off to Duke someplace. But if you were to compare the UWGB that you and Jeff played for, or even the mid-majors today, and then you had a front row seat at what it was like at the level of Duke, how, without getting any personal information by any means, does a mid-major last in the current scheme of what is college athletics? Are you nervous about that, being a GB alum?
Well, I know that some coaches recruit saying, hey, come to the mid-major, be great. And and then you can make it to the 100. So, I mean, I think that's a way to compete. You got to figure out your way that you're going to be able to compete. So, hey, dream big. Okay, it didn't happen that you made it to, let's say, a Power 5 school out of high school, but go to the mid-major, have a great, wonderful experience. My brother and I, we said we wouldn't have changed anything. We had so much team and individual success at Green Bay. But I understand that it's a whole different landscape. Kids are different now, with the social media, expectations and pressures to be that top player, but I think they just have to figure out go after the right kids too, that value playing and playing the right way, and that would value a UW Green Bay experience.
Yeah, I think that's right. That's actually how they do it. Come be great here, get your name put up in the rafters, and then go on somewhere else. So there's 2 Nordgaards in the rafters, which I think is fascinating. In your prime, who would win one-on-one, you or Jeff?
Oh, yeah. Jeff is unbelievable. So no, Jeff would win. Hey, it's the women's, men's, if I was a boy, I might have had better shot. But Jeff was.
Would it get ugly though?
I was too.
Would it get ugly? Like, would you elbow him in the chops if you needed to? Like, would you be sneaky and underhanded if that's what it was prior?
I do have pretty sharp elbows still. I was known for those. He would have taken me outside. He would have shot a bunch of threes. He's a little bit more athletic than me too. Sadly, I was, not. I didn't have the jumping gene that he got. But maybe I would have scored on him once, with an up and under. Maybe I'd have gotten him once. Oh!
Hey, Jeff, all that, we didn't have to pay her to say any of that. That was all true.
Hey, when it's truth, it's easy to tell.
Jeff Nordgaard, the other 33 that's in the rafters at UWGB. Chari, we reached out to Jeff and was like, hey, we're going to ask her who would win. And I just want to make sure that you're there to back yourself up. So we don't need any backing from you, Jeff. Good to see you. We can move on.
No, yeah. She said it pretty clearly. And I will say that my wife, Alexis, would co-sign that Chari sometimes led with her elbows, and that would get it. They played against each other.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah, there was quite the rivalry there between Butler and UWG back in Chari's days, and then of course Jeff marries the rival. What the hell?
The other 33 with long blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. This is still
blonde number 33. Yeah. From Butler.
Jeff, are you glad you came before her and not after her? Because that would have been a hell of a thing.
It would have been big shoes to fill. There's no doubt. And she did a wonderful job of filling my shoes. Certainly, becoming the all-time leading scorer at GB, and the impact that she made, both individually and her legacy there, and then the team success. It would have been tough to follow. Certainly. However, had I not gone there to begin with, I don't know if all 3 of my sisters would have graduated from UWGB as well.
Yes.
That's perfect. All right, Jeff, good to see you. This is her show. I'm kicking you out of here. Thanks for stopping by.
That's cool. Okay.
All right. See you later.
Bye. All right. See ya.
Had to.
That's even trained. Like I get your family's fantastic at basketball, like your immediate family, but like when the uncles come over on both sides, like that could be like, I would, like who gets picked at family reunions first?
I know. Well, there's so many of them that we end up playing like 8-on-8, in this little, we'll rent when we'll have Christmases here, we'll rent a little Lutheran gym, so it's not even a high school size gym. It's not the 94 feet of college. It's like, the 3-point lines almost touch in the middle kind of, or touch the circle in the middle. And there's 8 or 9 or, 8 per team running around, and they're not little kids either. We got Dawson, Jeff's son, who's 6'10". My boys are getting up there. We got some other cousins that are 6'7". So it's a dream. But I would say Connie's probably always picked first.
Okay. Did you worry about him when he played football? Like, are you glad he chose basketball? Because football people, I don't know if you've seen it. Like, I know basketball gets physical, but it doesn't get physical like that.
Right. He played football his freshman year. And at the end of the year, they brought him up, and he was the quarterback for the varsity. And that was so fun. That like Friday nights were so fun. The first time they brought him up, because the JV was done, they brought him up and he's on the sideline with the clipboard, and his helmet off. And all of a sudden it's toward the end of the game. And all of a sudden we see him put down his clipboard, and Kon and I are in the stands. We're just thinking this is just going to be a fun Friday night, no pressure, whatever. And he puts the clipboard down and goes and runs his helmet. We're like, what is going on? And they put him in there and he throws a touchdown. So that was really fun. And then there were a couple more games after that, and he started playing a little bit more. So his sophomore year, he's expected, probably going to be the starting quarterback for the varsity. And by this time we realized that he was going to be pretty elite at basketball. He had the offers had really picked up, and he started to say, I don't know that I can be elite at basketball if I have to practice football, in the summer, like for 4 hours. How am I going to, out in the heat and whatever, how am I going to have the time to then go do the 2-3 hours of basketball training that I need to do? So he made the tough decision of not playing anymore. And for the first part of the season, I cried every Friday night. I was like, my son should be out there. So I really wanted him to play, but it was scary because sometimes he ran a lot as a quarterback too. So you just know he's built and strong, but you never know when somebody's going to roll over an ankle or a knee. So I think he ended up making the right choice.
So he's going to go to the league, right? Well, we're pretty certain that that's going to happen.
I'm going to knock on my wood desk here.
Very good.
But yes,
but we see Jeff, who played overseas for years. You played over in Greece for a year. Like, I get that. That's not the way to go to make your fortune, but it is a way to chase and still play the game. Like, what did you take from that experience that you enjoyed, or maybe you didn't? It was a year and I was done. But like, did you enjoy the international game? Or from what Jeff said, like, I just seemed like that's a cool route to go and see the world while playing the game.
It was really neat to live in Athens, see the Parthenon. And I made the mistake of not going into any of the islands. I'm like, what an idiot am I? But it was my experience wasn't as great as I would say Jeff's was. I had just developed my 3-point shot, and out in for the international women's game, the line is a little bit longer and they use men's balls. So I don't know, people don't think that's probably much of a difference, but there's in my experience, there's a huge difference between the size of the ball and just the extra inches farther back. In addition, my game, I was a post player. So that's all, moves on the lane, but in the lane and whatnot, and, angles and all of that. Well, the international game, it's a triangle lane. So you're an extra foot out, and it being the men's ball. So I wasn't as successful as I wanted to be. I was maybe like 15 points, 8 boards, something like that. So nothing like what I was doing in college. Plus there wasn't an American on my team. So there was just kind of I didn't have the familiarity of, someone with the same kind of background as me, which also ended up being really neat because the other foreigner, she was Estonian, and we became good friends. Another thing was my point guard and the head coach did not speak English. So, you start to learn, you have to learn a little bit differently. But I think overall, I was ready to come home and start my life outside of playing basketball. I've known I've always wanted to be a mom. So I was kind of ready for that part of my life to start. So I made the decision to come back to Green Bay and coach for 3 years.
Okay. Yeah. Like, I don't know what Greek is for I'm open and throw it to me. Real quick. So you've got more boys in the pipeline. Great. If they all end up being great players, fantastic, as long as they enjoy the game. But what do you know about recruiting in big time athletics now that will help you with the next 4? Now that you've had the test case and Kon had to go through it first. Right.
I think that with the transfer portal and all of that, I think things have changed a great deal, even from when Kon II was getting recruited. What are we now? A year and a half. I think he committed a year and a half ago. So things have even changed since then. So I think it's a lot later. Offers are coming certainly from the mid majors a little, like almost a year later. If you're tops, I think those like the Duke and the Kansas offers are coming later. But But, even Kon II's Duke offer was in July, of his going into his senior year. So that was late. So I think we just in terms of my kids, the ones coming up, we have to be a little bit more patient. And, that's not a bad thing because it doesn't matter when you get the offer, I don't think. It matters that you get it. And maybe there's not as much pressure then, let's say, on the kids. I remember when Kon II got his Marquette offer after his freshman year in high school, his first thing that he said was, holy smokes, I need to become a lot better basketball player. So there was pressure in that regard. So right now, I feel like my next boys just have the ability to just continue to get better, and you're going to get as good as you can get. And, there's no pressure right now. Cager has the Toledo offer, which is awesome. And, but there's no pressure per se right now. It's just pressure on yourself to get as good as you can get and work as hard as you possibly can.
I'm giggling because you mentioned
why are you laughing?
Behind the scenes, John plugged his ear.
You mentioned Kansas, and then I closed my ears because I refuse to hear about those clowns.
They never recruited Johnny either.
Or Bill Self or any of those other people. They're bad people. Thank God you went to Don't think I didn't know I'd ever utter that sentence, but thank God you went to Duke.
Yes, I do thank God every day. Kon II made the perfect choice for him and for our family.
Chari Nordgaard
Knueppel. That's why I wear my little blue devil here right on my K. There we go.
There you go. Perfect.
I like it. All right. We're going to wrap it up with Chari in just a second. Stay tuned. The Inside Wisconsin Show. We've talked about this for 4+ years on this show. When it starts to get warm here in Wisconsin, it is officially grilling season, and I like to call it Festival Foods brat season. It's the only place I buy my brats, and they have choices galore. Remember when
they have varieties that are just it's ridiculous.
So here's my question:
don't they have s'mores flavor now? I think they have a s'mores brat.
Pretty much, they should if they don't. Oktoberfest is their main one. I mean, that's the one that everybody. It's a real. So, are you a brat patty guy? They have brat patties along with normal brats, but no, you're not a brat patty guy.
No,
there's something called a Wisconsin burger someplace where you get a regular burger, a brat patty, and cheese curds on it, like a pretzel bun or something like that. I'm in.
But listen, I'm not against all the good stuff. I'm just saying I prefer it the other way.
Now, here's another thing. Do you parboil?
To me, the bratwurst by nature, it is a sausage. So, and I know you have sausage patties, but anyway.
Are you a parboiler, or are you a throw it on there and constantly keep an eye on it type of griller?
No, like for the brat, right? I usually boil it up in a little.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of people that parboil. That's what they call it, parboiling. But there's a lot of other people that why would you parboil it? The whole idea is to put the brat on the grill and cook it through. That's because that creates an inferno on every grill I've ever tried to grill.
Both, right? You don't just boil them up and then sear them up and on the grill. That's the best way to do it.
That's the way I've always done it. But there are people out there that are like, no. Don't you?
People are allowed to be wrong. People people make all kinds of bad choices every day. So that's okay. If you choose to do it, you can do it our way. You can do it the inside Wisconsin way, or you can do it the wrong way. There's nothing that prevents it. As long as you're enjoying it, that's fine.
As long as you don't waste Miller Lite in your beer boil, I'm cool with that. Grab some crap stuff that's old, 3 years old, and boil it up. Fine. Just don't waste Miller Lite in the parboil. Happy brat season, Wisconsin. Find your favorite flavor, many to choose from.
Now, do you grill it? Wait, I got to interrupt. Do you grill it, or do you put it on the, whatever you call it, the blacktop thing you have?
Oh, no, we grill. We grill it.
Okay.
You got to bust down that casing a little bit. That needs fire.
Okay. I just wonder, because, you use that other thing for a lot. Like, you make brownies on it. I don't know. You do all kinds of crazy stuff on that.
That's good. Smoked brownies. I should try that. All right, shop at Festival Foods. They have brownies, too. We're back, the Inside Wisconsin Show, wrapping it up with Chari Nordgaard Knueppel, Trevor John. The JA Lightning Round is after one question from me this time around. And we asked this to K2 as well, Chari. The light on your family is bright right now, whether it's K2's success or your success or the Flying Knueppels success with Kon I, or, you have 4 more boys that we've mentioned that are going to be coming up in the ranks. Which means I think those floodlights are super bright on you right now. And so we asked Kon II this, and I'll ask you, what is it that allows you to go, like stay grounded or tune it out or turn off the internet? How do you do it?
That was where I was going to start. Is none of the kids have social media. They can't look themselves up and see what's being said awesomely about them, or on the flip side negatively about them. So I think that's really great for their mental health and just staying grounded. They don't see how great they are. And also, I mean, we're grounded in our faith. We know that anything we're doing here is a gift from God. So that it's nothing, and it's nothing that we, it's just a gift. So we have to be grateful about it. And as a family, Kon II is home with us this summer. He takes the garbage out. He, empties the dishwasher. He does everything that all the rest of us have to do. He's no different than any other member of this family. So we just treat each other all the same, regardless of successes or failures or anything like that. So I think conjunction with our faith and just staying as a tight family group really helps us.
All begins at home. That's for sure. I always hate following Trevor because he always asks some nice, deep questions, and then I come with this nonsense. So if you will suffer this fool, I have a few.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go.
How many basketballs are in the house?
Oh, 75.
Wow, that's a large number. Follow me here. It'll make sense. How tall is your husband?
6'4.5".
Okay, because
I like to say 6'5", but he says
I don't
I'm
know if you knew this. If you look at the Wisconsin Lutheran Media Guide, his freshman year he's 6'5". Every year after that he's 6'4".
Kon I? Really?
Yes. I asked your son this. Where does he rank on Duke's all-time scoring list since you're first and your husband's second?
I saw that interview, and you think I could remember? You said like 112th.
131st.
Okay, you're right.
Listen, parents always think more of their kids. Good for you.
I want to look at freshmen. I want to find out where he is at freshman scoring.
You're first. You are first in scoring at UWGB. Where do you rank in shots attempted?
Low, like 11th.
Yeah, you're not even in the top 10. That's amazing.
Wow.
That's what happens when you make them. Wow. What's the second highest mountain in the world?
K2.
There you go. How high is it?
10,000.
That's unfair. It's 28,251 feet. It's okay. Did you have your dad for biology in high school?
Yes.
Was he good?
He's a great teacher. He started the day with a joke. He made it so fun.
Let's see.
That's some good research you did there to know that.
I try. Carrie Tullifson, your high school friend and teammate, who, by the way, she said she's like the school's all-time leading assist leader, and she said all but 8 of them went to you. I don't know who got the other 8 buckets, but she said she just went down and threw it to you.
Probably went to my little sister, my next sister.
She was an Olympian at what distance?
The 1500.
1500. And now we're entering the Carrie sent me information part of the program.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. What's your favorite song in The Sound of Music?
My favorite things. These are a few of my favorite things. Yes.
Very good. What instruments can you play?
Oh, she's so good. Baritone, trumpet, violin, saxophone, and piano.
Wow, that's great. Did the kids take any of that, or were they just dribbling basketball? Okay, good.
The boys do piano.
Favorite SNL character when you were a kid?
The church lady.
Did you ever dress up as an SNL character and then go and play your instruments?
Yes. Hans and Franz with my big baritone. Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh, Carrie. We couldn't hang out. Dawson's a town of 1,000. There's nothing to do. So we would dress up and walk around town. That's what we would do.
That's great. Have you ever mooned anybody?
Throwing away the key on that one.
I have that as a yes. Okay, we've done enough of what Carrie has told me to ask about. That's fine. Although she did say I should ask you about biking. Are you on your bike a lot?
Oh yeah, I would bike. She would run all around town, and I would bike right next to her. Yep, for miles upon miles. Yep.
All right.
I wasn't going to do that running, so I biked with her. And when I just looked outside and I saw my kids ride their bikes. past the window. So
I don't know that there's anything better. I think when you're a kid, nothing shows that you're a kid like when you skip. And when you're a little older, there's nothing that says more like a kid than summer when you just get on your bike and go.
Yep.
That's just me. Now we'll move on. We'll get out of Carrie. Vikings or Packers?
Packers.
Is she lying?
I know.
We're trying to get a beat on this.
Well, I went to UW Green Bay, and I was at Green Bay in 1997, 98. I mean, come on. We got it.
That's valid. That's valid. Yeah.
All right, good.
I live with 6 Packer fans.
Okay.
Just made it easier.
Sure. Right. But okay. I still don't know that you're 100% with us, but that's fine. Favorite, there's 10,000 lakes in Minnesota. Do you have a favorite one?
Otter Tail Lake, Minnesota. Otter Tail Lake. It's the best.
Where is that?
That's where our family is. It's up by Fergus Falls.
Okay. Oh yeah, Fergus Falls. Oh, the Fergus Falls.
Got it. Fergus Falls.
An hour south of Fargo. It's the best. It's right off I-94.
Okay, there you go.
2 turns from here to our lake place.
How close are you from Moorhead then?
Otter Tail is an hour from Moorhead.
Okay, because that's the old thing. Sure, I don't know if you know that. You don't have far to go, and there's more ahead. Do you have a favorite state fair food on the stick?
No, I like the turkey leg. Is that on a stick? No, that's on a bone.
Close enough, though. Sure, I don't know. True or false? Minnesota has a state bee.
False.
That's true. The rusty patched bumblebee. Okay, we'll give you one more shot. True or false? The state beverage is milk and the state muffin is blueberry.
Well, then I'm going to go true on that.
That is true. Last one is how's shopping coming for a draft night dress?
Oh my goodness, Carrie's helping me with that. I just got 3 dresses in the mail today, and yes, she's sending me all sorts of pictures. I've got a stylist who's helping, and yes, lots of dresses. So.
Oh my God! Like, are you doing the rent the runway thing, or are you going to get it and keep it? Because you never know. Like, you're going to have 5 weddings you got to go to. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point. No, I'm getting it and keeping it, and it's going to be a keepsake, and
okay.
I cannot wait. That's the fun. What numbers are going to be? I don't know. What dress am I wearing?
Okay, so we're going to want to tune in for that. And is the league helping him with the suit?
Not the league, but his agency.
Okay.
And marketing deals and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they get these, and then they're going to put a stupid hat on him, right? Which, I mean, I get the idea, but you're just like, it doesn't go with anything.
He doesn't look very good in a hat either, sadly.
No.
Yeah.
Are you watching any of the
playoffs
mock drafts?
Oh yes, yeah. I read a lot of stuff.
Might not have to leave Brooklyn. You might want to draft and then just start apartment hunting.
I know. That's what's nice. Cooper's so lucky. He gets to know, like, Cooper Flight can find a house right now or wherever he's going to live. You know, they've had this month and a half where all of us are just like, where are we going to be?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
crazy.
It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be so fun.
Do you know what day the draft is?
June 25th.
Okay, just making sure. Just never know. Some people,
okay. Didn't we speak earlier about that? I'm the pilot of.
So that's on the calendar. So we have that on. That's on the Google calendar.
Yes, exactly. It's on there.
That's fantastic.
That's
great. When I told Carrie that we were going to have your son on, she said you're interviewing the wrong person.
Oh.
And she is correct. So I said to her, we're going to get Mom on. You have been great, not only as a mother, because I think sometimes, like I said, we don't want to overshine that, because that is, I still think, probably the most important role any of us have is as a parent, father or mother. But to get you on, talk about your career, what you meant to UWGB, and what that program always means to the city, right? The Packers are big, but when GB is really good in football, or in men's or women's basketball, it brings some shine to the town. And it's great what you did. It was great to have you on, and good luck finding a dress, and good luck to you and the family on the 25th. And then all the drafts that may come after that, if there are 4 more, or just if we're just watching, high school games, best of luck to you and the family. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.
We want you to do a whole lot more than just save money. We want your money to grow, just like your dreams. We want you to achieve financial well-being and the feelings that go along with that. Capital Credit Union, doing the right thing.
You're right. That was the right Knueppel.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal.
Great. You know that. We all got moms. Moms are everything.
The pilot, literally the pilot. We can't keep 2 boys' schedules straight most of the time, let alone 5. And there's no doubt that is a full-time job. Good for her, by the way, for running a daycare out of her home, her literally entire adult life. That's pretty incredible. You had to. She had 5 boys. Of course she had to run a daycare out of her home. It was required.
Yeah. By the way, when I say that moms are all great, it's just not all moms are leading scorers at their college. Oh, by the way, Yeah. So
also valid. Really cool. Really, really cool. And thanks to Jeff Nordgaard for popping in as well. We invited him in just to see how that was going to go.
Love the cameo.
It was perfect.
Love the cameo. And love that he's like, sure. And now I'm out. That's fine. Know his role.
Anything else? We're good. All right.
You can tell she looks up to her big brother, right? I see that every day with Katie and Colin. And sometimes they're dismissive, but even they're only 20 months apart. And I mean, those guys are 4 or 5, but Katie thinks sometimes you just think your big brother hung the moon, or in my case, your big sister. But anyway, it was good of him to pop.
All right. So bring back your childhood then, whether it was brother sister tantrums or kick yard ball games in the back. What was it?
Well, actually, this is from adulthood, but this is a UWGB women's basketball story. Maybe I've said it, but that's okay. We'll say it in this format. And it's back when you could call them UWGB, again, without repercussions.
The Fighting Phoenix, yes.
Yeah, so the Fighting Phoenix, they're playing, and they played in the NCAA tournament out in Hartford one time. If you ever knew that, they got the NCAA tournament. So they get it because first-round sites are still very much, where they're going to have people come. So they play in Hartford. That's a UConn deal. And they play, it was 2007, they play Mexico State. They played one of the large universities from New Mexico. And they're in the first game, obviously. Sherry talked about playing late for ESPN. So they're getting, the Con is going to get, oddly enough, the Con is what we call them. UConn's going to get preferred time window. So GB's got to play before that. So I told him, well, let's go to the game. So I go to the UWGB. I got an old sweatshirt, and I show up, and the place is a third full. And as the game goes on, it's half full. And by the time they end, they get ready, the place is packed because our girls, UConn, is playing. And so I watch, and UWGB wins. Lo and behold, they beat Mexico. And I got up, and then I left. And I'm saying the number of people that looked at me when I got up and left before UConn played is still one of the all-time great looks that anybody's ever seen. Because awesome. I kind of know what I'm doing. And I said, all right, let's go. The team we want to see is done.
Wow.
People are just like,
that's outstanding.
But Gino, our girls are playing. Gino, the girls are playing. Where are you going? You can't go. The girls. That's, by the way, that's how they always are referred to, as our girls. Okay, that's it.
Girls.
No women's basketball player. It's terribly sexist. No women's basketball player is ever referred to by their last name, right? Diana Taurasi is just Diana or D. Sue Bird is just Sue or Rebecca or Stewie. That's just how it is. Paige, that they just Paige. Caitlin went to Iowa, so she is not referred to that. She's Clark. Oh, I'm just talking about our girls. She's not one of our girls.
Oh, UConn only. Got it.
Just UConn is our girls.
No,
so,
okay.
Yeah, so I got up before our girls played, and it's still one of the funniest things. Just it was almost like a ripple. Like, look at who's this guy? Like, are you going to? No, you can have the seat. I'm done. I'm out. I'm going to go.
That's funny.
And then I didn't go back the next day. I just bought the one-day ticket, and then they ended up losing to UConn. They had a pretty competitive game. It wasn't UConn's best team. I think they didn't go to the Final Four that year, but still. So I just think it was still so funny that people were like, the audacity of this guy to leave before, the feature attraction plays. It's like I went to the Packer game, and after the tailgate and the warm up, and they got through stretching, I just went, adios, see you guys, I'm out. That's what they thought was happening, and I'm like, okay, that's good. Although now that I say that, that's kind of you too. You were like, Trevor, they're kicking off. Yeah, but I need a beer. Okay, can you wait?
Well, priorities, man.
Yeah, you watch the least amount of football I've ever seen anybody that goes to football games watches, but
damn
for another day.
Damn proud.
I'm just saying, I was there for the team. I went and saw the UConn. I went and saw UWGB women, and then I snubbed my nose at the folks at UConn and their 11 or 12 championships, and I left because I had seen the team I wanted to see.
We walked into a Buffalo Wild Wings when we were on spring break in Tennessee. okay, to watch the UWGB women's NCAA tournament game this year. There was one small TV up by the bar that had it on.
Right.
And we sit down and we look around at all the giant TVs, and the bartender's like, do you want us to put something else on here for you? And I'm like, nope, we're actually here to watch that team right there on that little TV. We are happy. It's great.
And then if you cheer at the wrong moment because everybody else is watching something else, you're like, that's what it used to be like at ESPN. I'd have the Brewer game on, and all of a sudden I'm like, yes! And people are like, the Mets game is in a break, and the Yankee guy just popped out. Like, what are you cheering? You're not watching one of those games? Oh, you have the Red Sox game on? No. Brewers beat the Red Sox, by the way, in the series opener. Just so you know.
It. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
This is a basketball show, J.A. We transition now into an episode of Deeper Roots with our friends at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Oh.
Do you remember the name Marcus Landry?
Yeah.
He is now a homesteader and farmer. We went and found Marcus Landry out in the country in suburban Milwaukee, rural Milwaukee, if you will. And there he was, okay. Marcus Landry, the farmer.
Working the land.
He literally is. Deeper Roots with Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
I have done some crazy stuff on this show. I think this is the first time I've been on a horse. Is that fair?
This ain't no normal horse.
What's special about it?
It's one of the biggest horses around. Well, not him, but this breed.
Farmers, brewers, hunters, packers, badgers, cheeseheads, neighbors. No matter what name we go by, we are bound together by our roots. These are the people, the stories, and the patriotism from inside Wisconsin. Welcome to Deeper Roots with Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Another episode of Deeper Roots with our friends at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. I got to be honest, I didn't have sitting in a barn with Wisconsin basketball icon Marcus Landry, but here we are. Marcus, thanks for having us out, man. So break it down for us. How in the world did you go from Badger basketball to a professional basketball player all over the world to, you know what, we're going to do a farm?
It's a long story, so I'll tell you the shortened version of it.
Buckle in. We got all day.
We got all day? All right, perfect. It started in 2020. I had my first injury of my career.
Achilles.
Playing overseas. I heard you had the same thing.
Me and you both. I was overseas. No, I wasn't. I was playing beer league softball.
Achilles actually tore it 3 months before COVID. It was kind of like perfect time, perfect moment to tear your Achilles, get out of Korea. At the time I was in Korea. Long story short, we got back home, things were pretty chaotic. Didn't have any eggs. And I had been studying farming for a long time. My wife sent me out. She's like, we need eggs, go get eggs. Man, I went to every store I knew, no eggs. Actually, to be honest, it was Blaine's Farm and Fleet that I drove to. Yes, I picked up a bunch of chicks and baby chicks. I took them back to the suburbs. That was like 4 hours later. So my wife calls me, she's yelling, where are you at? What's going on? COVID's hit. And she heard chirp, chirp, chirp in the background. And she's like, you didn't. I bought everything I needed, took it home.
You didn't just pick up 4 chickens to lay eggs and supply for your family. 14?
I had to make sure I had the right amount.
Did the farm have the name back then? Because that was the start of it.
No, not at all.
How did we graduate to this?
I'm a firm believer, either you're in something or you're out. There's no in between.
There's a mission behind the farm. What's the name of it?
Beulah Family Homestead.
And there's a meaning to that, but a mission overarching all of this. Tell us what that is.
We are really trying to help people. I think COVID really unveiled a lot of things about our food system, and not only our food system, but where we are as a people. I believe in community. I think that word is thrown out there a lot, but until you move into an area like this and you realize what real community looks like, it's hard to fathom. Providing people with opportunity and experiences that they would never get to have. And that's what we do out here. We feed people through the food that we raise, along with my family. Some of the toughest kids from the toughest blocks in Milwaukee come out here and they're scared of chickens. It happens, right? But these kids that are so tough and have to grow up early, they get to come out here and they get to be kids.
In terms of giving back and building community, why did you start with kids?
Well, giving them an opportunity to see something different. If you don't get out, you only can see what's in front of you. So giving them the opportunity to get off their block, get out of their neighborhood, to see something different. I realize that there's so many jobs in this realm. I get a chance to introduce them to a whole another world of job opportunities, of lifestyle living that they would never get a chance to be partake in.
Is what you do unique? Is there another establishment or farm or effort like yours that's comparable?
Not that I know of. The hardest thing I have with being called a farmer is that I'm not a traditional farmer. My experience in farming is really giving back and spreading this to people that never get to see it.
In what order then did you start to build a farm?
I started looking for land, and every time I came back home from playing overseas, I would look for land because I've always wanted land. I actually had a dream when I was about 15 years old of a property I seen that was surrounded by a white fence, and this was it.
Somebody's got to be your favorite out here.
Big Red is huge. I love Big Red. Definitely one of my favorite.
You gonna do the call? What's the call?
Oh man.
As long as Big Red doesn't come crashing through this barn.
Here, let me see if I can do it. And then you yell, Red, Red, and he comes coming. They know it too, but I mean, they know my voice, but their call is a little different. Yeah.
We need to go feed these dudes. Let's do some chores.
Let's go. These are called cross ties, so it's the size for me and you. So we got
it.
We got a big guy coming in, so we're gonna hook that cross tie up there. I'm gonna hook this one on this side.
Wilbur's a big fella.
Yeah, we got the center coming in right now.
Okay.
Yeah, big Wilt. That's good right there. You wanna show them how to do that side, Michaela?
Open it, and then you're gonna hook that right here.
All right. Almost.
There we go.
All right, perfect. Should we get some brushes? This is Big Wilt. We use him to drive the kids, show them in open shows. Actually, this year we'll be showing at Wisconsin State Fair, Jefferson County, and Walworth County.
Brushing the side?
Yeah, we're just gonna brush with the grain, with the way this hair is going.
Horses shed a lot, huh?
We actually just shed this guy not too long ago. Michaela, you wanna show him how to shed the horse?
It's gonna go in circles like this. And then once you do it all, you come back with that and you just brush it off.
And he's not done. He still has more to come off, and you can kind of see that as you're brushing.
I'm getting more off.
Michaela, can you get the step?
You're gonna put me on him while he's tied up.
Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He could possibly break these things off. He's strong enough.
Right, I agree. What are the rules?
The rules is when you get up there, sit down, hold your abs in, and just sit up straight. I'll be the first to show you. How about that? We'll just hop up here. You're a big guy. Boom, right there. Going right over here with the leg. Hopping right up there like this. You'll scoot forward. Just hold his hair. Ask me a few questions. I'll answer. Simple as that, right?
Yeah, you just made it look super simple. Is definitely the case. I have done some crazy stuff on this show. I think this is the first time I've been on a horse. Is that fair?
This ain't no normal horse.
What's special about it?
It's one of the biggest horses around. Well, not him, but this breed.
Okay, me and you. All right? Okay. So now, grab the mane.
Yep, grab the mane.
Bust my.
Yep, throw that right leg over the top. There you go.
Big boy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here I am.
Yeah, scoot forward a little bit.
Scoot forward.
There you go, right there.
Oh.
And you're good to go.
You know how I know I weigh more than you do?
How's that?
Because he's groaning. So, now what?
You can hop off when you're ready.
That way.
Yep. This way, right onto the thing there, and we'll make sure you return home to your wife safe and sound.
Well, I'm not off of it yet. Okay.
There you go.
Whew.
Ready for one more chore?
I was just about to say, let's do some more chores.
Let's do it. So all we're gonna do is take the corn and throw it right in there.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Yep, we'll do both buckets.
Don't eat it right out. Hey, not me. Sorry, just dump that right in your
Nope,
head.
that's how it goes.
My bad.
Every day. We need those buckets. Isaac, can we grab those? We're gonna fill some buckets up and go feed some chickens. This is Isaac. He knows how to drive the tractors, and
That man.
he pretty much knows how to do anything.
These aren't full chickens and they're not baby chickens, but they still got to eat.
So we try to mimic their real life cycle, right? So we give them new grass twice a day. They're constantly moving.
Oh, you don't take them out of there?
Oh, we don't even take them out.
Just slide it.
Yep, we slide it. We just come in here. Some of them might try to leave and get out. So I try to go back there and trick them. There we go.
Now we got to fill this guy
We got to fill that guy up.
Oh, easy now. There's water.
Now that little lever there, you're gonna pull that lever up and you'll just slide it forward and make sure you don't run any over. There you go. Yep, perfect.
Okay, you gotta come with me.
Keep your eyes in the back.
Eyes in the back. Tall guy problems.
Yep. And you move it a full space. And there you go.
Oops, sorry, Isaac.
That's perfect. We'll throw the water back in. We'll throw the feed back in.
Game over.
Game over.
How long are the meat chickens in the coop for until they become dinner?
6 to 8 weeks.
And do you donate that food as well?
Some of the chicken gets donated as well. A little bit of everything that we do around here gets donated.
If we were to call up a bunch of old teammates, whether it was at Wisconsin, in the NBA, overseas, and said, Marcus Landry is a full-time farmer, they would say, what?
They would laugh and they wouldn't believe you. They'd say, no way. I got one teammate that probably was the most hysterical when he found out. Yeah, Nate Robinson kind of went in on me a little bit. He had all the jokes, but it's fun. I love what I do. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Keep it going. You're doing some really cool things, and you put that in an interesting way. Get the kids off the block, because that's all they know, whether it's you going to them in the future or them coming out here.
Really, the goal is to become more sustainable, right? The funding coming in so that we can reach more kids, having the opportunity to pick the farm up and take some of these animals into the city so kids that don't have the opportunity or can't afford to come out here can really partake in it, but in their own space.
It was neat to see the kids on site today.
Yeah.
You could really tell that this was an element that they don't live in, yet are super comfortable in, and that's credit to you.
Yeah,
so,
thank
well
you,
done, man.
thank you.
We appreciate you, man. Thanks for having us out.
Thank you for having me. I hope you had a good time. What we're gonna do is we're gonna move the pen first so that when we go in there, we're not crawling on any poop.
Good idea. Hey, you gotta go back in there.
Oh, they got out?
Yo. Don't let that one get away. I'll chase him in a second. Hey, bud. Okay, hold on. Okay, chasing chickens. Okay.
First time ever catching a chicken?
I had backyard chickens.
Yeah, you know what to do.
I'm winded though.
It's a long way down for us.
Back on the farm for this episode of Deeper Roots with Blaine's Farm and Fleet. It was awesome meeting Marcus and sharing the evolution of his deep-rooted Wisconsin story. What a guy, and looking eye to eye too. If you want to learn more about the Beulah family homestead and all the great things Marcus and his family are involved in, go online and type in Beulah, spelled Beulah, BeulahFamily.com, and follow them on social media to show your support for all the good things they're doing. You can also head over to farmandfleet.com/deeperroots and fill out the form to nominate a friend, a family member, or yourself to be our next guest on Deeper Roots. It takes less than 5 minutes. Give it a go. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, smash subscribe on YouTube, and a 5-star review on the podcast side. We appreciate you, as you were, Wisconsin.
Talk to you later. Bye.